what is growing on. So you'll see the big tree mess out here. Nick is out here today helping prune some trees. He's got his truck. I don't know if you guys have seen that one. Nick picked up a 99 7.3, really nice old diesel, in good shape, low miles. I think it has like 106,000 miles. That's pretty hard to come by. But the reason for more tree pruning here is finally got some staking done by the power company. Where's that at? I think the guys probably have it hiding underneath this cone. Let's see what's going on here. Oh, no, that is not it. I don't know where it went. Oh, it's down there. Looks like they knocked it down with the trees. But long story short, this is a Withlacoochee electric power pole. They're going to be bringing power in from over here. We actually had a little bit of a change from the way the power is coming in. And they want 10 foot of overhead clearance for that pole. So we got to do a little bit of tree pruning. We've got some low trees with trucks coming in. Ended up renting a 50-foot snorkel lift just because a lot of that is beyond ladder pole saw, just a little bit too tall. But what's really exciting is, guys, we've got the whole kind of shade nursery area done. Got the shade nursery area planted. I'm not quite done planting. I'm sure we're still going to add some stuff. And kind of on the entry point here, we've got a lot of perennial vegetables, edible leaf hibiscus, longevity spinach, sisu spinach, Okinawan spinach, some salvias over there on the edge for color. This bed we ended up going with just a white rock border. Shout out to Jim Kovaleski. He had a lot of this rock in his backyard and asked me if I wanted it. And we've just been sitting on it for a minute and finally found kind of a use for it. We used it on that bed there, and then over on these beds, we had a lot of logs left over. It's been piled back there for a while. We're using them to line a couple of the beds. We still have this one to finish. That one over there is done. And a lot of these other ones, we did our regular epic edging, Sherlock edging, and we've got black and bronze, and just lots of gingers, cherry of the Rio Grande, bananas, avocados, grumichama, japoticaba, Cercopia. So we've got a few, a lot of our different shade tolerant fruit trees throughout this area. Turk's cap hibiscus, obviously shampoo ginger, turmeric. And right now we're just kind of soaking this area, getting that base set in place, and most importantly, kind of watering a lot of these in. We put a big sabra over in this area. These are all Synerger wobblers. I'm really happy with these. They mimic rain, really put down a good amount of water. More bananas over there, cranberry hibiscus, and obviously this whole area is still on right now. Got some more of the sisu spinach in this bed, some of the Puerto Rican taro, some different katuks, the green, the variegated. So kind of a slew of different stuff through this area that works well. And I think what we're going to end up doing out here on the edge, kind of where I have overflow parking, or putting in some poles every 10-15 foot, maybe some black plastic chain, just to kind of close off that area, driving everybody in here on the front of the building. And we did do some work on the inside of the building, getting ready to build a little awning off the back. We want to have a produce stand over here. This way, whenever we have fresh veggies, fruit, things from the garden, whatever it may be, kind of in this shade zone on the back of the building. We might end up putting a couple of those clear case coolers in this space just to keep them in, kind of extend that shelf time. Long term, we hope to get a trailer walk-in cooler, which will probably keep plugged in over here on this pole barn. This way, when Nick has a ton of harvest, we're not obviously bringing it back to the other walk-in cooler, but by having it in a walk-in cooler on a trailer, I found a company that makes these in St. Pete. He can literally just hook up to the trailer and take it to these bigger markets. No double loading, no double moving. So I think it's really going to streamline that whole market process, especially when we're doing bigger markets like the Trinity market, and like the Sarasota market, like we've been talking about getting into. We might end up actually expanding the nursery over here a little bit to the north. We've got a lot of overspray from the irrigation, and I've kind of got an access path that I want to keep in here long term. This way, when we're coming in on a weekly basis with some new plants, we can come in with the trailer, we can offload into the shade zone, we do a circle, we offload into the full zone area. And I see that happening once or twice a week, just reloading as we sell plants. But that trailer will not be there much longer. We're moving that over to the other side. We've got that other full sun nursery area we're going to start on Monday. But I think this area turned out really well. Guys did a great job here. Matt looks great. Curbing really added a nice finishing touch. And I've got some rock left to put in these paths. I think this one's going to get done in shell. We're going to put a little kind of rubber edge to hold that rock into that area. And then over on this side, I'm probably going to go with something a little bit more natural, with dark browns, light browns, and whites. Potentially something like maybe a river rock, but the larger river rock in this area. So a lot of these cedar logs have already started to peel. These guys should last a while on the ground. I mostly use cedar and black cherry. There was a lot of cherry here on the property. Those ones seem to have a really nice hardwood also. I tried to avoid putting too much oak down over here because I know the oak's going to break down and eventually rot away and need to be replaced. So hoping to get some more time with that cherry, that cedar. I think that's the only oak log I have kind of as a seat, and this will have a little rock going up to it too. And we've got some native firebush in here, and chaya, and some of our big green shell gingers, monsteras on the trees, passion fruits on the trees. And I kind of want to make this like a room. You know, when you come into this space, these are going to be 7-8 foot tall gingers, so you'll kind of be closed into that little space. Kind of a little seating area in the shade. But we've just gotten some more logs today, and that's from one of the dead water oaks we took out and a dead cherry we took out. And we're going to finish that bed over there. So I guess we do have a few oak logs, but I was trying to avoid using oak altogether. You can see these are all cedar. I believe that's cherry. You can just kind of tell by the bark. Another cedar. And the guy spent a little bit more time on this bed actually cutting a few angles, where that one we kind of just threw it together. But I just wanted to give some different ideas and models of edging that can be done in your own yard. So kind of the idea here is to have demo beds and then all of our plants kind of scattered out throughout. So giving us lots of shade space. Even some of our full sun plants will probably end up into this zone. This way, if somebody shows up and it's just, 110 degrees, you don't want to go over the other side on the black mat. You can get what you need here, and we'll just end up reloading. But that's going to have a lot of our bigger material, full sun required material, etc. But forgot to mention the front power pole for the well is also tagged. No trees to trim over there, but we've got 2 power services coming in here. Ball is rolling on that. It's actually in my court. I actually have to get the trees pruned up. I have to put a pole in on my side. I have to mount a panel. Pretty much have it ready to go because I can't put my panel on their pole. So we're getting close. We're about to have power. I'm about done running this generator. And really just wanted to show you guys the shade nursery. I think it turned out pretty epic. Got a couple of tree rings here out on the front. We ended up going with the sweet almond, perennial peanut, and I did the dwarf sweet almond. I didn't want anything that got too big in these beds, and kind of matched it on both sides over here. But that is next week's project. I've got some mulch to get out of there. Got to bring in a bunch of our washed sand, and we're going to end up with about another 4,000 square foot of black mat, and that's going to be all items that require drip. And then getting down here towards the east side, I'll probably have 2 rows or so where we grow field-grown trees. So bigger oak trees, bigger cypress, bigger pine, things like that we can just, swap them out as we sell them. So a lot of in-the-ground stuff. We might end up losing a couple of pines here on this end. Really want to get this nursery kind of squared up with that other nursery. So this way it's almost coming out to here. So this whole area is going to be nursery here soon. Stay tuned. And a lot of these areas are just overflow parking. So wherever you see the mulch in these areas are kind of our park zones throughout the space. And we've got a ton of dead limbs on these cedars over here, kind of stripping them up a little bit to where we hit the live growth up high. You can see Nick's making a bit of a mess in here. Beeping the horn. I was hoping to get you guys some action. Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, we got the beep. I love this lift because it doesn't have the outriggers, and while you're up in the air, you can actually still move it. So it's about a 17,000, 18,000 pound machine. All right, so I got a big dead limb over here that's about 35 foot up in the air. That's gonna come out. And I've really worked on knocking down this mulch pile over the last couple of weeks, or at least knocking it back from the road. I know it doesn't look like I've put much of a dent in it, but I have. We've probably taken about 1,000 yards out of this pile in just the last few weeks. This used to be all the way to the road. That used to be all the way to the road. And ideally, I'd like to get this pushed back enough so the driveway could come in a little bit more straight. And I think we're gonna end up with another split right here. We're gonna split to the left here, widen it up a little bit where it comes in over there, so we'll have kind of like a double split. This way I don't have to take all these trees down to get that full entry point. The old snorkel. All right guys, so quick little follow-up video. Shade nursery area is done. Power is coming, trees are getting trimmed, and nurseries are still expanding, so stay tuned for the next video. I'll probably make a follow-up once we get that area done over there with the drip, and I think we're about 3 to 4 weeks from having a soft opening here, grand opening this summer, so stay tuned. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Most importantly, it's 2023. Start a garden, plant some food, pound some dirt.